We turn now to new developments in the Baldwin movie shooting trial in New Mexico. Prosecutors are trying to force weapons supervisor Halyna Gutierrez to testify in actor Alec Baldwin's involuntary manslaughter trial scheduled for next month. Baldwin is accused of firing a prop gun on the set of his movie Rust in October of 2021 and killing cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. Now, Gutierrez is already serving an 18-month sentence for her conviction on those same charges. Now, in his filing this week, prosecutors admit Gutierrez's testimony could help or hinder Baldwin's case, but they still want the court to force her to testify. Now, if she does, it will give prosecutors a chance to cross-examine her if she's called by the defense. If Gutierrez refuses to testify, Baldwin's attorneys could use her previous statements as exculpatory evidence. Now, two of those statements came up during her police interview after the fatal shooting. In one interview, she admitted that she should have checked the gun again.
What time did you go to lunch?
Probably about like 12:30. It's pretty much on the dot.
And then, so after that, Sarah pulled them out.
Yeah.
Did you see her check them, or did she just hand them to you and that's when you checked the rounds?
She just handed us, we all took them, we took them in the bag to the set, so we didn't check them there.
When you checked it, it was on set or prior to you transporting?
Yeah, it was on set. I didn't really check it too much after lunch, you know, because it was already locked up and everything at lunch. But yeah, I checked it and put in that last round and sent it in.
Now, the state wants her to testify about Baldwin's lack of attention during firearms training. Gutierrez told the police that during interviews that he would throw tantrums and wasn't very attentive.
So what do you teach actors or crew members when it comes to gun safety?
So it really also depends on the actors too. You know, like big ones like Nick Cage, if they tell me, if they tell the director, like, you know, that they don't really care to do it, I can try to teach them for the most part, but like a lot of the times they might not even listen to me or really pay attention or be on their phone. Alec was on his phone a lot of that entire thing.
Now, Gutierrez's attorney, Jason Bowles, spoke with Court TV's Julie Grant and Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson last week during CrimeCon. Now, he said this when they asked him if Gutierrez will testify. He said, "It's fairly shocking. This prosecutor uses everything anybody says against that person and twists it any way she can. So now she's going to be forced to testify, and that impacts her case. It impacts Baldwin's case." Baldwin's trial is set to start next month. Also, this quick programming note. Jason Bowles will join Vinnie Politan on closing arguments at 9 p.m. to discuss the case. You do not want to miss that. All right, let's bring in our guests now to discuss all this wonderful information. Joining us is former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani and national parenting and family relationship expert Dr. Sue Cornwell joins us here in studio. Doctor, thank you so much for joining me and being here with me. Thank you both for being on the show. Doctor, I will start with you. I want to start with the Baldwin case. There's something that came up today that I want to ask you about. We got word that Alec Baldwin and his family are going to be doing a reality show. They released a statement today saying they were doing a reality show. Now, this is in the lead up to his trial to begin next month for involuntary manslaughter. Is he responsible in some way for the death of this woman? Yet, they feel it's appropriate to announce the release of a reality show. From your standpoint, does this make any sense?
Not really, Michael.
Thank you, because that's how I felt about it.
But I think in the real world of reality television, it probably makes a lot of sense because it's a distraction from what is going on currently in this case on the film that it was on when that shooting occurred. So I think probably Baldwin took that deal. So it is this distraction from what is going on currently in this case, and that more attention will be to the reality television show to him being in court at this time.
Yeah, I would imagine that's the case. Nima, I want to get your thoughts quickly on that, because from the beginning, there has been, you know, Alec Baldwin has really tried to win hearts and minds of people. I'm not sure he's been extremely successful at that, but at the end of the day, that has been something he's tried to accomplish. I think this might be a part of that strategy as well, but is it a good idea?
Well, it's not a good idea if you're talking to the lawyers, and I know one of Baldwin's lawyers, but this is a situation where you have a PR team, and they're making different decisions. I'm here in Los Angeles, I'm in Hollywood, and I don't think his lawyers wanted Baldwin to sit down with ABC's George Stephanopoulos and give that interview, because he talked a lot about the gun. He said he didn't pull the trigger. Well, of course, the FBI ballistics report said he did, or at least that the trigger was discharged. So you have a lot of statements that came out, but I think Baldwin and his team are worried about his future, his acting career, and not necessarily just this trial. That's why you're seeing things like the reality TV show, statements to the media, and so forth, that typically you would not see for a criminal defendant on charge, being charged and on trial for manslaughter.
All right, quickly, before we move on, I just want to get your thoughts on the legal issue that's come up regarding the testimony of Halyna Gutierrez. Really, I thought was a strong move by the defense in this case to put her on their witness list. They have the opportunity to use her statements if she, pretty much I think she's going to take the fifth. She's made that very clear. But there are also, I mean, there are statements she's made that I think the prosecutors can use as well if she's not available. What do you think the outcome of their motion trying to compel her to testify will be?
And it's going to be a fascinating legal issue, so let's talk about it. Obviously, Halyna Gutierrez, like anyone, has a Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination, and even though she's been convicted, she's going to appeal, so that right still attaches. So if she invokes, she is an unavailable witness, and why does that matter? Under the hearsay rules, her prior statement to law enforcement, to the extent that it's a statement against interest, and she made some bad statements that incriminated herself, that can come into evidence as one of the exceptions to the hearsay rule for an unavailable witness. I do think she's a good witness for the defense. Here's someone that's already been convicted. Here's someone that's more culpable. And I think the prosecution's arguments in this case are weak. Gutierrez was the armorer. She's responsible for the gun. She has at least been convicted by one jury and held responsible for bringing those live rounds on set and not checking the weapon. So all in all, I think she's a good witness for the defense, and I do like the defense strategy. But I have to say, the prosecution is doing the right thing. They are going to offer her, I believe, use immunity to testify, so anything she says can't be used against her, because they do believe she may provide some exculpatory information for Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, but her attorney has made it clear he doesn't trust them. So I don't know how far that's going to go. Let's turn